Okay. I would like to call this meeting to order. Will the secretary please call the roll?
Mrs. Becker.
Here.
Mr. Cummings.
Here.
Mr. Goswami.
Here.
Ms. Guas.
Here.
Mrs. Herrick. Mr. Hong.
Here.
Dr. James. Mrs. Reese.
Here.
And President Lax.
Here. We have a quorum. Please rise to salute the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the rights of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interests is discussed and acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of this Act, the East Brunswick Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be published by having the date, time, and place posted at the Board of Education offices. Written notice was also provided to the Sentinel, the Newark Star-Ledger, the Home News Tribune, the Alternative Press of East Brunswick, and the Municipal Clerk of East Brunswick. All Board of Education meetings, with the exception of executive session discussions, are videotaped for later broadcast. It is the policy of the Board of Education that videotape meetings are not edited for any purpose. Individuals who speak at the board's public meetings should be aware of these videotaping rules. Good evening. I'm going to entertain a motion for closed session, whereas the Board of Education must discuss matters which are not appropriate for discussion in public meetings, and these subjects are within the exceptions to the Open Public Meetings Act and are permitted to be discussed in closed session. The Board of Education intends to discuss matters as follows, those items on tonight's agenda. The length of closed session is estimated to be 1 hour, after which the public meeting of the board shall reconvene and action will be taken. Now therefore be it resolved that the East Brunswick Board of Education will recess into closed session for only the aforesaid subjects, and be it further resolved that the East Brunswick Board of Education hereby declares that its discussion of the aforesaid subjects will be made public at a time when the public's interest in disclosure is greater than any privacy or governmental interest being protected from disclosure in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Moved by Mrs. Becker.
Second.
Second by Mrs. Quas. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you so much. We will see you in an hour. Okay, welcome back. We are going to start with Dr. Valesky and the superintendent's report.
Thank you, President Lax. Good evening, everyone. On Monday, November 25th, and Tuesday, November 26th, Churchill physical education and health education classes participated in their first ever Churchill Turkey Trot. PE teacher Rebecca Monturo led the way organizing this event that promotes good fitness habits and a healthy lifestyle. Students in each period ran a mile, and the winners from each period had a chance to win Fitness Day certificates and prizes courtesy of the Churchill PTA. The event was highlighted by Travis Retzloff running in a turkey costume. I believe Travis is on the left there.
Yep. Go Coach Rex.
It's a very sad-looking turkey, by the way. I'll have to let him know that. The Churchill Champions Positive Behavior Sports and Schools team, which is comprised of teachers and assistant principal Alexia DeLuca, organized a fundraising drive for Wreaths Across America with the goal of raising enough money to sponsor 100 remembrance wreaths for veterans at Arlington National Cemetery. The mission of the Wreaths Across America is to remember the fallen, honor those who serve, and teach the next generation the value of freedom. Students donated money in their period 4 classes. The 3 classes who raised the most money won prizes. Students and staff at Churchill raised $1,911, and an additional 23 wreaths were sponsored online through the organization. They met their goal, and they were able to sponsor 135 remembrance wreaths, which were laid on veteran graves at Arlington on National Wreaths Across America Day, which is Saturday, December 14th. Lawrence Brook Elementary School's 3rd grade teachers were the proud recipients of the East Brunswick Education Foundation's $3 millionth donated to the district through grants. Now, I have to tell you a funny story. During the presentation for this is a check, and on there it says $3 million. There were a lot of students who wanted to understand why Mr. Levitt was giving a check for $3 million to these teachers.
Yes.
So we want to be clear, it's the 3 millionth amount of money, 3 millionth dollar in grants. And so the Lawrenceburg grant proposal, Bright Books, Bold Writers, will provide all third grade students with high interest decodable text, which will provide enriching and engaging books targeting phonics skills and comprehension. Skills learned in the text will be demonstrated through follow-up writing assignments. In our Early Learning Academy, during a recent unit of study on trees, students practiced identifying and recreating various parts of trees and their purpose. ELA students and their families collected items that fell from the trees and used them in class to learn, explore, create imprints, promote creative expression, and develop their fine motor skills. ELA students at Bound Monroe read the story Maybe Something Beautiful, How Art Transformed a Neighborhood by Isabel Campoy and Teresa Howell. Then students worked together, explored color, and painted their own classroom mural. Sebastian White and James Tomasini represented the East Brunswick South River Spotswood ice hockey team at the annual Captain's Night at the Prudential Center during the Devils game. Congratulations to our November High School Athletes of the Month. Students were selected for this honor by the coaching staff based on performance, demonstration of leadership, effort, and practice, and of course, for modeling exceptional character. Thank you to Brownie Troop 86357 and their leader, Daniel Aviato. They provided Thanksgiving holiday food baskets for 2 district families in need. An additional $600 in ShopRite gift cards was raised and donated from generous community members and provided some of our displaced families with a meal to be used for Thanksgiving. The district will be transitioning from using traditional plastic utensils to biodegradable starch alternatives. Starch-based, you are welcome. Starch-based utensils derived from renewable plant sources like corn or potato starch offer a compelling solution to the environmental concerns posed by plastic waste. And these biodegradable utensils decompose naturally, minimizing their ecological footprint. And you have before you a sample of the biodegradable fork. There was a lot of speculation on the board dais tonight about what the fork was all about. So
Nothing to put it
this
into.
was simply a sample. There was supposed to be cake and all kinds of things. But and I want to thank Mr. Crotchfeld, who has worked tirelessly with Aramark, and I'm going to mention them in a minute, but to really research and come up with alternatives that meet the needs of the district, that are durable, but yet are ecologically significant. And I think he hit a home run with this because he had a lot of options that he was considering, but looking at cost, durability, and long-term solution, I think he did a great job.
They're
So
strong.
yeah, they are strong. They are strong.
Test it out later.
Yeah,
If only we had cake.
yeah.
It was right for him.
That's awesome.
And I
See,
think they're edible.
You don't want to leave it in water, before you eat or something like that. Sustainability has remained a consistent focus by the district and our child nutrition department. And over the last several years, we have stopped using styrofoam trays, plastic-lined cups and serving boats, and plastic straws. We've made efforts to use more environmentally friendly products like napkins that are made of 100% recycled materials that are produced in a chlorine-free, energy and water-efficient process. And overall, we reduced our food waste. During the 2024 school year, we served 5,587 meals per school day while limiting kitchen food waste, and that's all the scraps and prepared food that wasn't purchased. And we've gotten that down to 2.3 pounds per school per day.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's significant. The district continues to operate share tables at all of our schools, resulting in the reduction of student food waste. And all our new equipment is energy efficient. And I'd like to thank the Child Nutrition Department Mr. Crotchfeld and the Earmark team for making these positive changes. Been a great effort. The East Brunswick Education Foundation will hold its annual book fair this Saturday, December 7th, and Sunday, December 8th. Students are invited to participate in the school-run activities, make a bookmark craft, and enter the student raffle for their school. Cupcakes will be available for purchase and for decorating, as well as a special drink for purchase at the Barnes & Noble Cafe. Thank you.
Thank you. Sounds right. This is good stuff. Weren't you part of, Mrs. Reese, the share table? Wasn't that one of your?
Absolutely. I want to say thank you to Joe Crotchell. He's been working on this a long time.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see all this, and I had no doubt it would happen, but it's great to still be here while it does, and the share tables, I think the students have taken well to them. And,
No, I learned that from you, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. I was told that Rishi is at another commitment this evening, so we do not have our student representatives report, which is a severe disappointment. I speak on behalf of all, right? We do love hearing what's going on at the high school, so we will look forward to that next week. But now we are up to the good of the cause for the public, so you guys get to fill in where he would be telling us really good stuff, so I'm going to leave it to you. The Board of Education recognizes the value of public comment on educational issues and the importance of allowing members of the public to express themselves on school matters of community interest. To protect the privacy of all students and staff, concerns regarding individual students and staff members should generally be addressed by first meeting with the appropriate administrative staff. You will have 3 minutes. Time will be kept by the board secretary. And as I always tell you, it is your time to talk to us. Anything that needs follow-up, I'm going to ask you to please leave your information with the two lovely ladies on the right-hand side. So who would like to be the first contestant on The Price is Right? Come on down. If you could just all state your name and address for the record, we'd appreciate it.
Allegra Seidler, 12 South Woodland Avenue. This is a parent testimonial regarding the district ILA curriculum, which I spoke of on November 21st. To quote, "I am a proud and involved parent of a first grade student. My concerns first began in kindergarten when we were reading books at night, as we often do, and my child began covering up the words to see if she could guess based on what the picture showed. My gut instinct was to stop this, because why would we be guessing when we could just sound it out? We continued to sound out the words together, and I encouraged my child to never cover up the words, but to work to sound them out. When I saw that, however, I wondered, why would that be the method? And so I began to question this curriculum and what my daughter was being taught. When she entered the next grade, I noticed that she was still learning some of these unfortunate habits for reading and not relying on her knowledge of phonics and trusting herself. So we continued to work on it at home. For the first marking period, she received multiple pluses as her scores, which indicates, amongst other things, the student is achieving beyond grade level expectations. Now my concern is, if by the first marking period she is already achieving beyond grade level, what is being done to make sure that the material is appropriately challenging her to her abilities? Looking into the gifted and talented program for first grade left much to be desired. At the time, there was no information, and it is still very unclear what is being done for the kids as far as specific criteria and what programs are being implemented. An additional concern I have is that my child has always loved writing. She loves to make lists when we grocery shop, write cards to her friends, and create stories. She asked me, when do we learn how to spell, and when do we learn cursive handwriting? When I raised these concerns during parent-teacher conferences, this was the response I received from her teachers. If I had to stop and correct every child's spelling, I wouldn't have time for small groups. And the other response was, we don't want to take away a child's love for writing by correcting them the entire time. While I understand to some degree that some children may be frustrated, my child is not. She independently has a desire to learn and learn it the right way. This is not something that is forced on her, it is her own desire. So what is being done to teach my child at her level? When do kids who are doing well get special attention? End quote. Picture cueing, neglecting spelling, and the general hindrance of literacy progress are a few of the numerous and well-known issues with balanced literacy. Since the district has made multiple attempts to deflect these issues away from the curriculum and onto individual students, teachers, and/or schools, I have been working to compile testimonials from parents district-wide so that narrative can end. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Seidler. You could state your name and address. Thank you.
Dom Sclafani, 2 Morgan Place. I wasn't planning on speaking tonight, so this is entirely ad-libbed. So 2 things. I know you guys had the resource fair a couple weeks ago, and I just want to say, so in 10th grade, myself and the student assistant specialist, Peggy Haas, we came up with an idea to kind of have a fair of activities to like de-stress and people with special needs and everything. And 11th grade, COVID happened, and so we couldn't do it again. And I'm happy to see that some remnants of something I did like 5-6 years ago still exists and is happening. Number 2, I noticed the playground across at Chittick, the wooden one, is getting, I guess, replaced. Just some history, because none of you, well, maybe Miss Becker and Mr. Giuliano were here for it. So my dad and 2 of his friends, they actually built that playground for special needs students, and then eventually was for everyone. And while myself, I'm sad because I grew up on that playground, went to Chittick, and my dad was a little disappointed, but we both understand that it's over 20 years old and it has to get replaced somehow. So yeah, hope everyone had a nice Thanksgiving. Thanks for keeping my my idea alive, and yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Tom. Is there anyone else? Yes, please, come on up and state your name and address for the record, please.
Kimberly Shama, 11 Ellison Avenue.
I'm sorry, could you repeat your last name?
Shama.
Thank you.
Mine is for finance. I have some fees. My children have over $400 in forgotten ID fees. So I went on a payment plan. The problem is that I cannot see my children's report cards in Genesis because I have fines. And I think that should be changed. I cannot see their report card at all. I actually can't see their grades unless I go to a special way to see them out of my way. So if I go to grading, it says you have fines, pay your fines. Although I pay every week on a payment plan, I still cannot see my kids' grades, their missed assignments, unless I go out of my way. But my report cards, I can't see any of my kids' report cards. So I haven't seen unless I contact their counselor, which I'm sure the counselors are busy. So I feel like that should be changed. I should have access to all my children's, all 6 of them, their report cards. Thank you.
Thank you. If you could just make sure that you leave your contact information so we can follow up on that.
Actually, if you could,
Joe was in the back, okay.
Yeah.
did you want to speak, Joe, or did you?
No, I'll talk to you after the meeting.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Shama. Is there anyone else that would like to speak to the board this evening? Okay, seeing none, I'm going to close the public portion. Oh,
Do you mind if I just make a clarification statement?
Absolutely.
Could I do that?
yes, please.
I know over the last couple of meetings, we've heard about curricular issues, specifically with ILA and I believe gifted and talented. I want you to know that we do take those seriously. We are listening, and our curriculum is constantly in review. We will take your feedback. We're continuing to look at things to make sure that we are meeting the needs of every single student in this district. So I didn't want you to think when you speak at the Go to the Cause that nothing is happening behind the scenes.
Thank you, I appreciate that. I do have a pending email 12 or 13 days ago, though, so there's that as well. With all due respect.
Mr. Giuliano, I believe we had a conversation that there was an OPRA request attached to that, correct?
I sent 4 out today.
Okay,
You sent 4,
Oprah request out today. to be
Okay.
delivered tomorrow.
okay. All right. We'll follow up.
Is there a time delay, Jenna, with Oprah requests, maybe? Is that?
Oh, I
No, she just sent them.
today.
Oh,
But
okay.
the email, I'm not sure.
We can, if you don't mind, we can talk after, if you're around, we can talk after.
No, I just want to make sure that you're getting the answers that you need. Okay. All right. I'm going to ask for a motion on this evening's agenda.
Motion.
Thank you, Mrs. Herrick. Second by Mrs. Becker. And is there any discussion on any item on this evening's agenda? Mr. Hahn.
So for the financial service, agenda item 5, there's several account coding corrections. So, Mr. Giuliani, can you please elaborate what this is and help us understand it?
Yes,
Thank you.
absolutely. So this is regarding account coding corrections. So that would be on the monthly financial transfers report, budgetary transfers. So let's start out with the Department of Education Uniform Chart of Accounts. That is a document that sets forth how expenditures are to be categorized. So it's very strict. It sets out the criteria for categorization of expenses. And so when a budget manager needs to make a purchase for necessary items, and if their specific account doesn't have enough funds, a transfer is necessary to put the funds into that account in order to initiate the purchase. So that's what would be construed a account coding correction. It's strictly the movement of funds from one account to another to facilitate that acquisition.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you
welcome.
very much. And can I comment other 2 items?
Another item? Sure, absolutely. Anything on the agenda?
Sure. So, I'm sorry, kind of slow. Okay.
Take your time. Can I help you?
So again, the financial service item, 14 and 19, I just want to thank the community program team, Emery, and her team. So this program is not just provide our students the opportunity to learn more, and it helps parents to release their childcare responsibility, give them more flexible time for the job, and additionally, it brings us quite good money to addition to our budget. So I want to thank Emery and her team. So every year they bring in millions of dollars to our school district, which is benefit the student, benefit the parents, benefit the school district. So I hope Emery and your team, please keep doing good job. I really appreciate as a parent, as a taxpayer, and as Board of Education member. Thank you.
Thank you. And right next to it, the gift from Lawrence Brook. Vicki, did you want to speak to that? I know that's your home school. So I was going to thank the PTA, but if you would like to do that.
Yes, I'm sorry, I'm still looking from the old agenda, since my new one was taken viciously. PTAs work really hard. And anyone who's been on a PTA knows it's the same 20 people who do everything. Particularly the PTA board. They do every single event. They spend the whole summer planning out programs for schools. Their sole purpose is to make the school year better for the kids and the staff. They do teacher appreciation events. Their presence is in the school for every single event. And when I said the same 20 people volunteer, the entire school community eventually gets involved in the PTA, and it's a really nice way to establish a community. But fundraising is really hard and takes a lot of work. And the commitment that the PTAs make towards purchasing things for this district is incredible. And I'm proud of all the schools, but yeah. Lawrence Brook was my boys' school and my school. I was in the PTA there too. So it has always been a community school. It's been the hub of the community. And I know that we have parents in the Lawrence Brook parents. And thank you so much for everything you do. If you would take that back, please, to all the PTA members and to the school community. It's wonderful.
Okay. I'm going to ask the secretary to please call the roll. Unless, that's okay.
Yeah. I just wanted to comment on number 2 on the agenda bylaws. I really think that these are favorable for us as a community and for the board as a whole, and I just wanted to commend the work that was done to bring those forward. I think the ongoing orientation and trainings for newly elected board members and refreshers for current board members are really significant. This, as people know, and certainly people sitting up here know, it's a tremendous amount of information overload at times. So I think that those will be really wonderful for us as a community, and the other things as well, to be more engaged and take steps to help make sure that communication is coming out clearly and people have a clear understanding of the many facets that go into operating a district of this size. So I just wanted to say that I'm in favor of those, and I appreciate the work that was done around that.
Thanks, Tim. Okay. Then I'm going to ask the secretary to please call the roll.
Mrs. Becker? Mr. Cummings?
Yeah, excuse me, and I'm going to abstain from 3, the minutes for the previous meeting.
Noted. Mr. Goswami?
Here. Yes.
Yes. Ms. Wass?
Yes.
Mrs. Herrick?
Yes.
Mr. Hong?
Yes.
Dr. James?
Yes.
Mrs. Reese?
Yes.
And President Lax.
Yes, with an abstention on Board of Education, item number 1.
Noted. Motion carries.
Motion carries. Thank you. Leading us to committee reports, information items, and for the good of the cause for the board. I'm going to put Liwu on the spot. I know Dr. Valesky mentioned the $3 millionth that the Education Foundation was generous enough to give and to bestow, and I was fortunate enough to be there with Liwu at Lawrenceburg when the students did think that Mr. Levitt was the wealthiest man in the world and was giving them $3 million. But I just wanted to ask Liwu if he could say a little bit about the event. You get to talk to the kids.
Yes. I was in a lot of pain that day, but I was very happy to be there. East Brunswick Education Foundation makes East Brunswick very special. People know that the Board of Education cannot fund every program, but our great teachers always come up with good ideas. How to pilot those ideas? We need fund. We're so lucky we have the EBEF. In past more than 20 years, they fund all those programs, give out grants, totally $3 million. It's great amount of money. Additionally, that night, I went to the Mayor Cohen Charity Fund. Those 2 nonprofit organizations make East Brunswick really, really special. No community close to us can copy it. So East Brunswick people are very generous. We are so proud of all donors, all people in East Brunswick. Ms. Levitt, he is a great leader. He did this for 17 years. 17 years is not a short time. I'm really impressed by him. He is my role model. I really want to help people serve our community as a volunteer. And the children there were so excited. They say huge check, $3 million. They're really excited. They believe Jack Levitt is billionaire, and he's going to donate another $5 million. I told Jack that is your target, $5 more million. Thank you.
Thanks, Liwu. Dr. James.
Thank you. While we're talking about the EBEF, I just wanted to add on to the portion of the superintendent's report where you mentioned the book fair at Barnes & Noble. It looks like there are still some volunteer spaces, particularly on Sunday, for that book fair. So if you have some friends who like books or want to be in close proximity to coffee all day on Sunday, maybe you could pass that on and they could come join us to support this good cause with your time. It will be a lot of fun. A lot of kids come out. You can help decorate cupcakes. And I know the EBF would really appreciate having some extra hands there, especially on Sunday. And then I just wanted to say how excited I am about this sustainability initiative, and how I hope we will keep this going and really try to reduce our plastic use in other ways and make sure we stay strong on the recycling front. This is just really exciting and really necessary. And my kid doesn't eat school lunch because he's gluten-free, but I'm going to be keeping this fork to spread the word. So really, thank you for doing this. And I mean, all seriousness, this is really this is important to our schools, to our society. So this is a big milestone for us. So thank you.
Thank you. And you're right, I will tell you something else. With the Barnes & Noble Book Fair, I know that it's Barnes & Noble books, but just for everybody, the holidays are coming. There's toys there, there's journals there. They have so much more than books. So a lot of times I take my kids and do some of the holiday shopping, so. See you there. Mrs. Glass.
I wanted to follow up on what Mr. Cummings had said about the change to the policies. I just wanted to thank the board because it really was an examination. You know, we brought the discussion to the board last week, and it really is a discussion about what would be better to help the board continue to grow. And it's interesting because a lot of these ideas came out of discussions we went to at the convention, and just really examining our own practices and looking at what would facilitate our growth and what would help us as a board streamline some of our practices. And I just appreciate the willingness of the board to participate in change and improvement, and that just comes out of the discussions that happened in closed and people's time at the convention. So thank you.
Thank you. So before I ask for a motion to adjourn, I just wanted to say to Heather and to Pankaj, I know we have one more meeting, we've got some big changes coming. I wanted to thank you guys. I know I'll see you at the next meeting, but just in case it gets lost in the shuffle. It was really difficult to come on, hit the ground running, and be here. And I'm impressed with both of you, and I love the questions you ask and your commitment to the community, and I hope that the community still gets to see you guys, and I'm sure they will, because you're both, but you know, and that's the way it should be, and maybe one day you'll be back up in these seats, but I did just want to say how impressed I was with your professionalism, your commitment to the students, the staff, and I've enjoyed working with you guys over the past months.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, then, I'm going to ask for a motion to adjourn. It's our power of meeting. Is that, would that be Mrs. Herrick? Okay.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Cummings. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you guys so much. Stay warm, get home safe.